Welcome to the Redemption Podcast with your hosts, Staci
and Julia.
Welcome to Season 3, Episode 2 of Redemption. Hi, everybody. Welcome.
Hey, Staci.
Well, in the studio today, we have, of course, our host, Julia.
Good morning.
We have Lynda.
Hi, everybody.
And we have our Patty.
Hello.
And, of course, we can't forget Mr. Isaac, who runs our show, thank goodness.
And I'm also here, sitting next to Julia, stealing her mic occasionally to do housekeeping for the roundtable, our next roundtable episode of Wild Wise Women.
Yay.
Triple W. Woo! Triple W Part 2, talking about some boundaries. But before we get into that, let's see what we have coming up. The Friday that this releases, we ideally have just completed the groundbreaking ceremony for the Carson Cottle Center at its new location, which is being live streamed at 4 o'clock on our YouTube and Facebook channel if you're listening to this before. And if you're listening to it after, I'm pretty sure you can still go back and watch it unless something terrible happened, and then it's probably on me to fix that right now as you're listening to this if you can't find it. But hopefully you're able to find it. So you can go back and watch the groundbreaking ceremony, which I'm sure was awesome. And then the next Friday is 18 Holes of Hope Part 3. Friday at 8 o'clock is when the check-in begins. There's still 2 teams left while we're recording this right now?
Yes, 2 teams.
2 teams left. I'm told Julia will not be on the greens this year either, which is going to be great. I won't be there. I'm very saddened. I will be in Washington, D.C. that week. I'm presenting at the National Conference on Ending Homelessness about the podcast network, which I'm sure also went fabulous. The golf tournament is going on. I couldn't tell you because we're recording this before, but that is all I got. And then after that, maybe we'll all just have a nice calm week at work because there's been a lot of stuff that we're getting ready for here at the height of summer. But that's okay. We're rocking. Right. We're rocking and rolling.
Yeah, well, remodel of the cafe.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, yeah. Also, the cafe is currently being destroyed right now, torn up and destroyed. But you can still buy stuff at the mobile coffee cart, where they have the Caesar wraps that are prepackaged and really good. They have the fruit and cheese trays that are like $5. I love fruit and cheese, so I've been crushing those. And I think we're still doing kombucha, and we're still doing at least drip coffee, so you can still come in and see us.
Oh, thanks so much, Isaac. Okay. Well, guys, I'm really excited about our roundtable. It's been a long time since we did the first roundtable, and we got such a lot of great feedback on just the material that we covered. And I really think that boundaries is super important. It's super important for young people, for old people, for everybody to learn about boundaries. So, Lynda, welcome.
Thank you.
And Patty.
Hello. And Julia. And Staci. All of us. Okay. Well, I just thought we'd start with just kind of a recap of what we talked about last time. You guys remember that? We had this list.
Yeah,
What did we learn?
It was all on that you can't even talk about boundaries without talking about, am I respecting myself enough to be able to stand up for what I need and I want?
Right.
And so we spent the whole time just talking about our own garden and what we want in our lives, what we want to be valued for and nurtured for and known for in our own lives before we can, and say people who really are not valuing me, that's kind of not all right. And if I have that self-respect there, I can say that with confidence. Mm-hmm. So that's what we did last time. Mm-hmm. And so we're just kind of going to jump in. It's going to be a surprise, you guys, because we kind of don't know where we're going. But I thought I just wanted to touch on these things that I found in some of my notes about codependency, because that's one of those things that can really confuse us at times. And I found this nutshell where it talks about different kinds of dependency. There's a healthy dependency that says, hey, I need and want you in my life, but, I'm okay on my own, and I'm not going to betray or sacrifice myself to be a doormat. And then there's codependency that says, you are the center of my universe, Whatever you need, I'm here. I will do whatever you need. I can't make a decision apart from your permission. And it's kind of, we fall into that disease to please.
Ooh.
Ouch.
We love to be people pleasers.
We do.
I know I
We do.
Yeah, this is a really great topic for me right now.
Good enough.
Yeah, I think it's always.
It's always
I
is.
think so for everybody.
Yeah. Like we all need that reminder. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to learn how to, now that we're self-aware, how do we set the boundaries?
Exactly. And the third thing in there with codependency is there's counterdependency, which says I don't need anybody. I can do this all on my own.
Ouch.
And that's really a big one, because we were talking this morning about before we ever even can enter into this thing of setting boundaries, we need support. We need each other. We need a good close friend that we can say, this has been really bothering me and I want to be able to stand up, but I'm scared to death. Because it's hard to speak our mind, because it's that worthiness thing again. Do I deserve to speak my voice and have it respected? So it's scary.
Am I going to hurt some feelings by setting this boundary?
Yeah. Are my feelings as important as someone else's feelings?
So to have a friend, like we're sitting here and going, I am scared to death to speak my mind. What do you think? And get feedback. It's not a gossip session, but it's like, help support me. What do you see in me? What we need to be vulnerable and open and honest with one another, with people that we feel safe with, before we can even launch.
And a lot of times we just need to get it out of our own head.
Bingo.
Because it starts ruminating and just rolling around and round and round and getting nowhere, because it's still in our head.
Yeah.
But once you get it out, and lots of times you just see the solution.
Exactly.
But you've got to get it out of your own head.
It's
with
true.
somebody you trust.
Yeah. That's you for me. Big time. We went on, it's like, so Patty, for the people who don't know, Patty is my grandmother and my best friend. And we work together also, but we never get to see each other anymore. It's weird like that. And so last weekend we went and walked on the coastal trail in Anchorage together on a really bright sunny day, and it was just amazing. And I just missed that time together. And we were able to have those conversations where I could, get out of my head all of these things that have just kind of been building up just for no reason.
Yeah.
And, it's good to have those people in your life.
Yeah.
So grateful for you.
Go for it, Patty.
So I have a little quote here. Know your boundaries before you get in a situation.
Ooh.
So what is a situation? It's the conditions that affect your life at a particular time. A bad situation can be feel like a crisis, or you feel urgent. It can even be dangerous. And so how do you deal with a situation? And here's some things that I wrote down in the middle of last night because I couldn't sleep. It kept running in my head. So don't withdraw in tough times. That's so easy to do.
It is so easy.
You just get to. I know I like to be alone a lot, but there's some times when you shouldn't withdraw.
It's being present.
Yeah.
It's being present and not allowing steamrolling to go on, but being present to hear what's being said, which is hard when you've got emotions in those situations.
Yeah.
That comes up, but it's like, okay, I'm going to listen to what you have to say, and then being able to go, and this is what I have to say.
Yeah, and I'm not going to run away.
Yeah.
Try to avoid negative people to deal with a situation. Don't hang around with negative people.
Good
Expand your social network. Mm-hmm. That's a big one for me. It's like I like to be alone a lot. I need that, especially working, a full-time job at my house. It's a unique place, acknowledge the situation. Don't just pretend it isn't going on. You acknowledge the feelings that you have. They matter. What you think and what you feel matters. So, and develop a plan. And this, I thought this was good. Even if you can't fix it, you can determine who you can call on for support.
There you go.
And how you can keep going even when you don't feel like it.
Yeah. That's strengthening your internal boundaries.
Yeah. That's paying attention.
Yep. Paying attention.
I would like to go back just a hair to that. Expand your social network. Especially with the age demographic and clientele that we work with here, and for anybody who likes to isolate when, just as like a natural state. I know I'm the same way. If our social circles are small and they're heavily influenced by negative voices or people who bring you down and don't,
people
encourage
who are
you.
in crisis themselves.
People who, there you go. It's essential to start reaching out to supportive, reaching out in arms around you and getting support that you need. So like the clients that come into my house, they expand their social network by getting to know the people here who are all we want to do is, lend a hand out and help lift you up.
Yeah.
And we can't do that without it.
And we watch that with the clients, as they start interacting, as they get over their fear, and start feeling safe with us. That's what we want my house to be, is this safe place where you can talk to Julie, you can talk to Patty, you can talk to Staci. We can learn from one another, and we watch these closed little buds open up. We just had a little girl in here today, the one that started interning with you. And when she first came in here, her head was just hung so low, she would not make eye contact. And this morning she popped her head in here and she goes, "Today's my 3rd day of work. It's so wonderful." And I said, "And you're making eye contact. Look at you."
She's so funny.
Yeah.
Too.
And so you end up, you start watching these kids develop their voice, and they start opening up and sharing more. And so it is so important to spread yourself around and to learn different people's perspectives, to learn what is my voice, what do I want? Because it's a big thing with the kids who come into empowerment, and they don't want to share because they don't think they have a voice.
Yeah.
And to help them develop that, sometimes it takes a long time.
Yeah. Took me a long time.
Yeah. It does. Sometimes it takes a lifetime, doesn't it?
Yes, indeed. It like a few lifetimes. Oh, here's another one. Change what you can. And one thing you can change is your attitude.
That's the best.
And then identify what you can't change. You can't change someone else. And you can't change the past.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Yeah.
And the wisdom to know the difference.
Yeah.
What can I change? What can't I change?
And focus on the things that you have control of.
Yeah.
And don't have control of anybody but yourself.
That's right.
Which is your attitude.
Yeah.
Patty has a really great coaster on her desk that Michelle and I found
We
in
love
Juneau.
it.
And it says, "Girl, if he's not a diaper, you can't change him." And that is what that reminds me of right there.
That's a good insert there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Learning to take care of yourself, and you can't give what you don't have. You have to give it to yourself first. And we're all givers.
Yeah,
we love what we're doing. We love being here, but we have to fill the cup up.
Yeah.
In order to be able to, And I look back and it's such a joy to be able to work with kids, and and be your best friend, because I wanted that so much. I wanted somebody to talk to, and I didn't have anybody to talk to. So my passion in life is to be that person that somebody can talk to.
And again, Patty, that comes from that self-respect,
Yeah.
that you start going, I know what I have to give.
Yeah.
And I know what sucks me dry.
Yeah.
And so you've got, that all has to come before you can gently, with respect to somebody else, say, that's not working for me. This is what I need.
Yeah.
And that's, if you can't say something nice to me, I'm probably going to just go away.
Yeah. Nobody has
Right.
nobody
Yeah.
has the right to be mean to me
Yeah,
or to yell at me.
because I'm valued.
Yeah.
If you would like to say that in a different tone of voice, I can hear you, but I can't hear you right now. Change your tone of voice, and then I'll listen.
Yeah.
And nothing's wrong with that. That's just saying I value myself.
Yeah.
And that's big.
Yeah. It's
you're-
huge.
It's a lot of I words.
Exactly. It's not blaming. You make me mad. Nobody. I'm not giving my power away. I'm keeping my power. I'm not saying you make me mad. I'm saying I'm strong, and this is what I need, and that doesn't work for me. So,
Have you ever heard of a situationship?
ooh, sounds interesting. Tell us.
I like to look words up.
Yes, you do.
And I looked up situation, and this word situationship came up and a whole bunch of stuff. And it is a situation where you're like, there's no commitment. You're just kind of going along with somebody, and nobody's made, it leaves confusion, where you don't know where you stand, like you were,
Or where it's going.
yeah,
It
or where
sounds
it's
like
going.
drama.
Yeah, it is.
Situationship, it's what you're carrying, and it sounds like I'm just going from drama to drama and crisis to crisis and emotion to
Yeah.
emotion.
And nobody's saying what they really want.
Nobody
They're
knows who
just
they
sort
are.
of, they're just rolling along, and and it's a thing.
Yeah.
People get into relationships that are just situationships.
Isn't
they're
that
in
interesting?
they're in a spot in their life where they're just going to use people. Really, you're using it to get to for some reason, but there's always that question of who are we? What is this?
And what is relationship? This is good for. There's 3 types of relationship.
Okay.
There are 2 powerless people who just want to control and resist. So they never meet. They're just hammering at each other or running away from each other to get their needs met. I'll get my needs met if I can control this person, or I'm just going to vacate. Then there's a powerful person and a powerless person. But do you know what happens there?
Yes, I do.
Yes. One is very dependent, and the other, and rescuing. And I'll work harder on your life than on my own. Yeah. Those are the people who run over you, and you let them.
And
Yeah.
we do.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
Stacy.
We did.
we did.
We did.
We're working on that. Yeah.
And
Sorry.
But we're not anymore.
No.
That goes back to where we, the powerless didn't set those boundaries so that they
Exactly.
felt empowered.
And we don't think we can.
Right.
We're scared, and because we don't know what
Stuck
we need.
in fear.
Stuck in fear.
Yes.
Yeah. And the third one, you can guess, it's 2 powerful people who are free to make their own choices, and each person is responsible for their own decisions. Not your job to manage the other. You're able to exchange the truth without being offended, and you're always protecting a connection. It always comes down to, do I want connection or not?
Right.
Are you both working for a connection? Because all we've got here right now is disconnection, with you trying to control me, and me too afraid to stand up for myself. So, and be in victim mentality, or running away. We're in that fight, flight, freeze, fawn mode again, instead of working for connection.
So I think that's a great question to ask the listener. whoever's listening to this episode, whether you're in a romantic relationship, whether you're thinking about a relationship you have with your mom, with your, your boss, your whoever,
Coworkers. Yeah.
which relationship type, or, is it a style or like a...
Yeah, they're just types of relationships.
Types. Where do you fall and where do you want to be?
And we kind of go in and out of it, you guys. You can tell when you're in a fight and you're just, or not a fight, a heated conversation, and you can't listen to the other, or the other just dominates, and they're a steamroller.
Yeah. And you
And
shut
you're
down.
a doormat. Yep. That's what that two powerless do to each other.
And sometimes you just have to say,
Yep.
can we take a minute?
Yep.
And respect each other for that. Like, let's come back when we're not so emotional, and
More self-aware.
yeah, yeah, and think it through. What is my bottom line? Kind of narrow it down. That's where maybe journaling or writing things. Sometimes I'll write a letter to somebody, whether I send it to them or not. I don't.
good.
I never send it to them.
Yeah.
But in the process, you get to boil it down to like a sentence. This is what I'm feeling.
Yep.
And so what am I going to do about that?
Exactly. That's good. And go to a support person again.
Yeah.
And verbalize it.
Yeah.
Try to figure it out. Hear yourself.
Somebody who's not going to tell you what to do, but help guide you
Yeah.
Yeah.
to what you truly feel.
Yeah.
Now, how brave are we to say, how do you experience me to a friend? Do I, is it what my person that I'm having trouble with, am I domineering? Am I hard to get along with? Help me understand myself.
Yeah.
That's a hard question. My kids taught me that. That's hard to say. How did you experience me in that conversation when we were all together?
Oh,
That's
That's
really
vulnerability.
I gotta remember that one. I'll keep that in my back
yeah,
pocket.
no, that is.
Especially when you got 6 kids, Stacy.
Yeah, I actually dealt with that today, dealing with a son, an older son, and I tried to talk to him, and he's like real defensive, and I'm like, what's wrong? Like, I'm here just to talk to you really quick. He's like, well, you're always on my case and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay. Like, well, I love you. I just want what's best for you. I want you to grow. I want you to, to get on your own. And, but sometimes you come across harsh and, but being able to stop and hear him, I learned that here. I learned that working here and with the people that have surrounded me. This is my network that teaches me how to listen to my kids. We're always learning. I'm 55. I'm still learning how to do this, So, yeah.
We will be learning till the day we die.
Yeah.
Well, and when to me, it's like how it feels to be heard. Yeah. Is priceless.
Yeah.
Right.
That is so dynamic to helping you with your self-worth, to have somebody that cares, they care, and to be that person, that is like the center of it all.
It really is, Patty.
Yeah.
Yeah. We want to be seen. We want to be heard. We want to belong.
Yeah.
So it does take time to just sit and really listen to understand. It's more important to understand than be understood sometime. If you're passing that on to somebody else with true understanding. I don't know if I shared this last time, but long ago when I had one of my sons who we were having a real hard time connecting, having a real hard time with our hearing each other. And his dad had died recently, and his dad and him really got along well. We always butted heads. And after my husband died, and we were just grinding at each other, I said, help me, Aaron. What did your dad do? Whoop, I said his name. What did your dad do, that that helped you guys get along so well? And he said, he listened to Mom. he really listened to me. And I said, okay, how about when we feel ourselves gearing up for a confrontation, how about I just shut up and let you talk until you're done? And then I can do that sometime too. And we don't have to talk about it any further. We just are listening to really understand. And he said, all right, let's try it. And you guys, it was a miracle experience, because he would start talking and I'd just go inside, you know. But the more I listened, the more I just started hearing his heart.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the issues.
Yeah.
It's never really
It's
about
deeper.
the issues. You know,
Yeah.
and I just started hearing his heart, and I fell in love with him. Stacy, quit crying. All over.
I'm sorry. I'm just dealing with this right now, and it's so powerful, and it's so true.
It was, take it, use it. And any of you out there, it was one of those miracle breakers for us.
Yeah.
Is that we just started listening and not speaking until we could hear the heartbeat of the other person.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And then, you know, sometimes we would talk about it afterwards, and sometimes we just leave it. Yeah.
Good advice.
So, what does that have to do with boundaries?
Everything. I mean, it all has to do with self-respect and thinking you're worthy,
Yeah.
you know, and helping someone else feel worthy.
Exactly. It's
know.
a two-way. That's two powerful people.
Yeah.
If you can sit and really, you know,
Be present.
you go low to get up. You know, it's a humbling thing to just sit, because people think in order to get anything solved, you gotta prove yourself right. You gotta
Right.
stand up and
you do it this
shout.
way, you know.
Right.
And it's the opposite. You know, it's just being still and being quiet and really seeking to understand. And you don't necessarily, it may not bring you to a place of figuring out the problem, but it will help you with
the relationship.
the relationship, because you're loving, and love wins.
Always.
Love wins. And so boundaries is just that place of saying, I am worthy, I am lovable, I am worth it. And you just, you know, treat me nice, or be nice or go away. Have you seen those signs?
Yes.
Be nice or go away. And sometimes you have to go away.
You have to go away, or
Yeah,
they do.
and
Just
it's
say,
hard.
you're not welcome. You know, come back when you can speak to me with respect.
Yeah.
I love you, you know, but go away until, you know, I give you second chances. Say it in a different tone of voice.
This is so beautiful. Isaac, I want to title this one Boundaries - Love Wins.
There you go.
It's beautiful.
Every time.
All right, Staci, I will name it that. And if you want to continue listening to Triple W Boundaries, then you will have to check back in 2 weeks from today for part 2. A lot of great stuff in this first episode, and there will continue to be a lot of great stuff in that second part. Until we see you then, I'd like to thank Patty and Lynda for recording this with us. If you or someone you know are a victim of sex trafficking, please call 1-866-733-7878 or text HELP to 233-733. For local services here at my house, you can call 373-HELP. That's 373-HELP. Remember, if you see something, say something. This is Redemption, Loved and Thriving. Until next time.